Hello, everybody. So here's just a quick update. Last video I discussed going up and over the Blue Mountain Summit, and the thing it was great because there was nothing. So when I came off the summit, it was so funny because like all that heavy overcast clouds dissipated, and like this bright, sunny, cloudless, or damn near cloudless sky. That's what I came up to as I'm coming off the hill and into this valley that goes right into Pendleton, right? And so it was amazing. It was breathtaking, and I was just like had to pump my fist and be like, "Ooh, I made it through!" And all that worrying for nothing. Currently, the Columbia River's right here. It's right there. I'm driving the gorge. This is my absolute most favorite place in the whole world is the Columbia River Gorge. To my left, there are some windmills. So I'm real close to, I think I just passed that exit. It's the Arlington exit, Ione, Arlington. Significant about that is that years ago when I used to go hunting in Eastern Oregon in the Heppner Hunt Unit in the town of Heppner, that's the way we would go. Was we would kick off from here on I-84, and then we would take the Ione Arlington exit, and then we'd go meander on down. And that's how we went to Heppner, Oregon. The other way you could do it would be to go all the way into Pendleton and take the 395 down. Now, if the weather had gotten really bad and the Blue Mountain Summit was impassable, I had an alternate idea of going through Baker City and traveling down as if I'm going to Bend, and then kick off at the 395 and go 395 all the way up north into Pendleton, and then I would have continued my journey home. And the reason why I would have done that is because I've driven the 395 before. I've from the 395 you can kind of kick off and get back to Ione, Arlington. So I could have gone all the way up into Pendleton, or I could have continued and then kicked out here and would have actually ended up closer. But gas stations are a little more limited going that route, and it didn't matter because the weather was good, and the summit was passable. So I'm just kind of riding high that I'm almost home. I'm about to let's see. Yeah, I'm about 2 hours from home. It's mile marker 141, and mind you, mile marker 141 indicates that it's 141 miles to where I-84 ends into I-5 there in Portland. I wouldn't go that far. I would, depending on where I'm going, right? If I were to go back to my hometown, I would kick off onto I-205, which is about 6 miles, I think, from the end, and then I'd go another 20 minutes or so, and then I'd be there in Oregon City, my hometown. Again, I don't know where I'm going. I really hadn't planned that far ahead, and I know that's foolish of me, but I have friends I can stay with. I have others that I know. I don't know. I might motel it one last time just because. Yeah, I don't know. Not really sure. I just saw a sign for Arlington, the Arlington exit 1 mile, so that might be, I'll know it when I see it better, because I know that exit there was a gas station right there at that exit. John Day, yeah, I think that's the exit that Dad and I used to take going down to Hebner. One of the ways, I mean, we had done Arlington, but we would do, because we're in the city of we're in Arlington, Oregon now, which is at 137 miles from Oregon. Beautiful, beautiful, just breathtaking view of the Columbia River. I mean, it's I can't put it into words, you know, without sounding like a babbling idiot. It's words can't really express how I'm feeling right now. That, you know, like, I can't say that I'm the prodigal son that has returned, because in that, the biblical story of the prodigal son, he was gone 7 years. I was only gone 1. I have literally returned to Oregon a year to the day after I left. And but I mean, you know, it's really difficult to really put into words what I'm feeling right now. I mean, it's, again, like I said earlier in another video, it's really bittersweet. It really is bittersweet, because it's, you know, my journey's come to an end, and mind you, I left on the 31st, and it's now the 11th. I had been on a journey for just shy of 2 weeks. I don't recall ever having done that in my life, where I was just traveling for 2 weeks straight. It had only been a week, you know, week here, week, you know, the couple times that I've been to Nebraska, or the one time I'd been to Nebraska when I was 18 for a family reunion, and then there was another time that I was in Irwin, Idaho for another family reunion when I was 11. And in both of those situations, you know, we had enough time after the reunion had concluded that we drove up to Yellowstone National and kind of took on the sights. Now, when I saw Yellowstone National Park for the very first time, it was 1986, right? So it was what we call the 86 reunion in Irwin, Idaho. Well, after the reunion, we went, we'd gone to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where I rode on top of the stagecoach around the town square, like I'd mentioned before. But we also went up to the Yellowstone National Park, and mind you, there was a lot of wildlife that you could see. I spoke about that buffalo when I was walking on that boardwalk with my mom and others, and being, you know, within 10 feet of a wild buffalo. To 1993, everything had changed. It was so different. What a lot of people don't realize is that in 1987 there was a huge wildfire, and it decimated Yellowstone. So the Yellowstone that I saw in 1986 was not the same Yellowstone that I saw in 1993. Now, I'm sure Yellowstone now looks a bit different. A lot of stuff has probably grown back, and the wildlife is probably back to where it should be. But I remember in '93, the wildlife was just scarce. I mean, I remember seeing a moose in the distance in '86. I thought I'd seen a black bear, but I can't really remember. I mean, like, there was hardly any wildlife to be seen in 1993. But then we also went up to Mount Rushmore, and we were up there, and we were there, that morning when the park kind of opened, and the sun was shining just right. I don't know if I told you guys the story. Well, if I did, sorry, I'm telling it again. But there's a sunspot right underneath President Washington's nose, and I made a point to my mom, and I pointed up at Washington there, and I said, "Mom, look at Washington's nose." And so she sees the sunspot, and she's like, "Well, what about it?" I'm like, "Washington's got a booger." And my mom just looked at me, she's like, "I cannot unsee that. I cannot unsee that now. Thank you." I'm like, "You're welcome." So, and we went into the little interpretive center there and learned a lot of stuff there. And then we ended up going to see where they were building a similar monument that was being carved out of a mountainside for a Chief Sitting Bull. Now, this was in 1993. You could see this faint outline of Chief Sitting Bull sitting on his horse. I've never been back since, and that's one of the things I would like to do again in the future, is to go back, possibly when I go up to North Dakota, because that's the only western, of the lower 48 states, is the only western state, that's west of the Mississippi that I've never been to. So perhaps when I go to North Dakota, maybe I'll go back through South Dakota again and go take a look at this monument for Chief Sitting Bull, because I think it's going to be pretty cool. I definitely would love to go to the site that would be the Battle of Little Bighorn. I would love to go see that. I've seen it on TV, on history documentary specials and the like. I definitely would love to go back and see that. I have determined that of the lower 48 states, I have actually been to 33 of them, which is significant because here I am in Oregon. I'm an Oregonian. Oregon was the 33rd state to be admitted to the Union on February 14th, 1859. So it's kind of, I feel kind of giddy about that after this adventure, that I have now concluded, having visited 33 of the 48 states that are known as the lower 48. How I'm ever going to go to Alaska or Hawaii, I have no idea. Because getting me to fly, getting me cooped up in a flying tin can over an ocean, unless you knock me out like B.A. Baracus from A-Team, I just can't see it happening. So I'm in good spirits, despite the fact that I'm literally 2 hours away from this journey coming to a complete end. And unlike Trek to Kentucky, at least I have daylight when my journey ends this time around. Last time it was like, damn near midnight or after, when I finally showed up to my final destination. So, again, thank you all. Thank you all for putting up with me on this journey. Thank you all for following along with me on this journey. Thank you for your comments, those few who have commented. Thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for the private messages of encouragement and of love and support. To be quite honest, I don't know that I would have ever had the strength to do this, to do a journey like this without the Lord above, obviously. But I don't know that I would have been able to do it if I didn't have the love and support of those that I can count on, those that have my back. The close loved ones that I hold near and dear to my heart. And some of you are watching because you follow my videos. So I love you. And thank you for believing in me. Thank you for believing in me when I never believed in myself. It's amazing how just a little bit of encouragement can mean the world to somebody. That a little bit of encouragement can empower them to do anything. That can empower them to, reach their goals or, pursue their dreams. And encouragement is it's a powerful tool in and of itself, and it is probably next to love, it is probably the single most positive thing that one can ever do for another human being. So thank you all for that encouragement that you have given me along the way, and I appreciate you beyond words. And here is, if I had a drink, but I don't. Here's to a better and brighter future. I mean, because my future is literally so bright that I have to wear shades. Like what I did there. I'm a dork. But, and I snorted too. Oh well. I'm looking forward to just being a better human being. And with the help of God above and with the help and love and support of all of you, I can do that. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And one last time before the next video, which will be the final conclusion of everything, of this journey, of this video series, the final journey, or the final video of this epic, amazing adventure. That will be in the next video. So, thank you.